Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about becoming velocity banking millionaires with real estate. So this is just a demonstration of what I'm doing. You don't have to follow me. You can do whatever you want. But right now, I don't have that many properties. In fact, I only own two. One's my personal residence, and then the second one is a rental property. And I've been owning real estate since 2021, and I have over $570,000 of equity. $570,000 of equity just from two properties. And I feel like I should have my rental property paid off in about 2 or 3 years around there. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So let's go ahead and demonstrate how one could possibly become a velocity banking millionaire by buying rental real estate. And if you've watched the other velocity banking videos, you know where I'm going with this, right? So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you use your line of credit as your main operating account. Now, in order to do velocity banking with rental real estate, here's the thing, okay? I myself would never get into rental real estate if I depended on the tenant's income, right? And then as you can see right here, okay, this person has $817 left in savings with all the debt, and this person doesn't have a rental property. Now, if we were going to get into a rental property and the tenant did not pay for a month or two, we would be screwed, right? And so that's why it's very important to get into rental real estate at the right time. So if you have all this debt, let's go ahead and get rid of the debt first. Okay. So we're going to talk about that, do that really quickly. And then we're going to get to the sweet part of becoming a velocity banking millionaire. All right. So let's go ahead and get rid of the personal debt. So, two things that we assume with velocity banking: number one is the same income, number two is that we have no savings, even though we have the same expenses. And this is the part that a lot of people trip up with, right? So we're going to have something called cash flow, and our goal is to maximize this cash flow with the help of a line of credit. And what we do is once we move some of the debt into the line of credit, we put our paycheck in, expenses out, rinse and repeat over and over again, and then our cash flow will be used to deplete the debt in the line of credit. So if you've never heard of a line of credit, all it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay back, and then use it over and over again. So if let me go up here and show you my line of credit for $280,000 here. So this is, think of this as like huge $280,000 credit card that you can use to pay anything, right? Even the line of credit's bills. If the line of credit has a $50 bill, you can just borrow $50, put it back, and then the bill is satisfied. Isn't that really cool? So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, that's what we're gonna do today. And so let's go ahead and assume that we have a huge line of credit just to make the demonstration easy. Although realistically, if you only have $800 left over, no one's going to give you a line of credit because we all know what the drill. What's the saying that we always say? Banks don't lend money to people who need it. Okay. All right, but let's go ahead and move these two credit cards into the line of credit, and that's $62,000 of debt. $62,000 of debt. And guess what happens when we move $62,000 of debt into the line of credit? These payments go to zero, right? They go to zero. And then this is $817 literally turned to $2,809 within one swoop. Okay. So let's go ahead and keep doing this. And then we're just going to do this. And then we're going to take the previous month's balance plus the previous month's interest minus our cash flow, 2809.84. And then we're going to take the average daily balance to calculate the interest and then multiply it by the interest rate and then divide by 12. Okay, so that's how we calculate the interest, and then we copy and paste. Whoopsie, where did I go? All right, so and pay off all the credit card debt, pay it all off. It should be all gone soon, right? And then in 24 months, it will be completely paid off the credit card debt. 62,000. So let's pay it off 24 months and then 62K, right? 24 months. Yep. And then we have three more loans, two auto loans and a mortgage. Luckily, we got a loan calculator to help us figure out what the current balance of these things are. So 22. Wait, hold on. This one's not right. It's two auto loans. So let me go ahead and make sure this is done correctly. All right. I think this is right. So let's go ahead and do that. Whoopsie. It's 25,000, 3.99, 5, and then 200,000 at 3%. Okay. Hopefully I did this correct. And then 386, 460. Oh, did I screw this up? No, this is 20,000, 386, 460, 843. Okay, good. The payments are correct. So you take a look here with this loan calculator, you could find out the current balance of these loans. And so if we go in here, so this is going to be G2 plus G3. That's going to be about 29 grand. Okay, 29 grand going in to the line of credit so that we can recover the cash flow of these two loans. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do this right here. Copy and paste. Plus 29757.1. And then we're going to go here. Okay. And then now our cash flow is over $3,000, right? Just so we just rinse and repeat over and over again. And then now we update our cash flow, right? So let's go ahead and update that. Control V and then minus 3656.79. All right, and then I'm going to copy and paste here. All right, so let's go ahead and copy and, or I'm sorry, highlight this here. So in 33 months, we paid off, let's see, 62 plus 20 plus 25, 107K. So less than 3 years, we paid 107,000 of our personal debt. And now we're at a point at 33 months, okay, so this is all gone, where all we have is the itty bitty mortgage, okay? And so now this might be a good time to get into rental properties. Now, let me tell you something. Um, what you do and where you get the rental property is probably going to be determined by your market. Now, in Georgia, rental, there's a lot of demand for real estate, especially in the Atlanta area. But I feel like the home prices have been going been a lot more up. I don't know if that's even grammatically correct than the rents, right? They've been a lot higher than the rents, but it's if you know how to buy right, which is the ultimate way you make money in real estate, then you can easily pay off your rental properties. And so let me just kind of show you here. Like I said, I don't have like 20 rental properties. I had two, right? I bought this in 2022. This is a rental property at $100,000 discount. So rule number one, when it comes to rental property, get the biggest discount you can find, right? The biggest discount. And there's a saying that you want to buy a bad property in a nice area. You never want to buy the nice property in the bad area, because the nice property in the bad area is kind of limited by the other bad properties, whereas the bad property in the nice area, there's a value add and sky's the limit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that and buy a rental property at a discount. So let's imagine this. Okay, we have two ways that we can buy the rental property. Number one is we can get a loan. Oh, what's going on here? We can get a loan, all right? So loan for this rental property for about, we'll say $200,000, okay? $200,000 loan, and it's a $300,000 property, or we could buy with a line of credit. Now, if the loan interest rate is significantly lower than the line of credit, then I definitely would not use a line of credit to buy. But when it comes to investment properties, the interest rates are higher, and so the line of credit interest rate usually is comparable to the loan interest rate, right? Usually, okay. So let's just go here and let's say, hey, you know what? I got this huge line of credit from available to me. And where'd it go? Where's Thanos? Not the Squid Game, new Thanos, but oh, where? Okay, this is going crazy. Let me reload this. Give me 1 second. reference. There we go, I think. So I have this huge $280,000 line of credit. Now, let's assume that, hey, we're just going to buy real estate outright with a line of credit. All right, let's go ahead and do that for $200,000. And so now what we do is we're going to see how long it takes us to buy, or I'm sorry, pay off rental property one, right? So property milestone, and I'll just call this one personal debt milestone. Okay. So with rental property one, let's say at this point, when we have all of our debt paid off, we get a $300,000 property for $200,000. Right. And we'll just say we got a loan for that. Well, now we get a tenant in there, and then now we just add the tenant's income into our income sheet, right? So this is $2,000 a month, and then we just multiply by 0.7 because we don't get the whole 2,000. Just as a rule of thumb, general rule of thumb, we'd say 30% goes to expenses. Okay, so what's our cash flow now? 5 grand. Ooh, okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Copy, paste. Again, this is rental property number one. And let's replace our cash flow with 5056.79, right? So keep going and going like the Energizer Bunny, right? So scroll down. All right, so now we see that in 79 months, this is all paid off, right? So 79 months. So how long did it actually take us to pay off the rental property? So that would be when we first started. That would be 33 minus 79. So that'll just be a quick estimate, 79 minus 33. That took us about 46 months. Okay, 46 months to pay off our first rental property. Okay, so property one, 46 months. All right, so what's 46 months? 46 divided by 12. That's about 3.83 years. So 3.83 years to pay off property one. Okay, so now we just do the same thing again. Buy a rental property at a discount, right? If you get a $300,000 property, you buy it for 200. If you get a $200,000 property, buy it for 100. There's always distressed real estate out there, although it's not the majority of the market. It's a very small percentage. It's okay because you're only going to buy a couple houses, not even a year. In a year, maybe one every couple of years, right? Because in order to pay off this one rental house, it took us less than 4 years, and that's crazy. How it took us uh, less time to pay off a rental property than it would take for the average person to pay off their car loan. Okay. But let's just rinse and repeat again, right? So let's rinse and repeat again. And so let's go ahead and do this and add another $200,000. And again, if we're really good at negotiating, it's not just about, $100,000 discount, get the best discount as much as possible, right? But we're just going to assume on average we're getting $100,000 discount. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we're going to go in here, right? So now we add another tenant's income, so multiply it by 2, and what's our cash flow? About 6 grand. Okay, 6 grand. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So now I'll go copy and paste this. And then this one is 6456.79. Okay. And we see that in 112 months, and if you want to calculate the time frame payoff, it's 1112 minus 79. 33 months, okay? So in property 2, whoopsie, I just put property. Now it's going to take us a lot quicker, so 33 months. And how much is 33 months? 2.75 years. What? So the second rental property, wow, is less than 3 years? That's amazing, okay? And then now let's just go for 3, all right? So the third property, how long is the third property gonna take us? And by the time we have our third property, I mean, we can assume, hopefully, that we upped our negotiation game. Instead of just getting $100,000 discount, we get 150 or $200,000 discount, right? Or we're able to save money. So instead of getting loans or just even using a line of credit, maybe we do seller financing at an incredibly cheap interest rate. So let's go ahead and do this again. Plus 200,000 line of credit purchase. And then now let's go ahead and add the third tenant's income, right? So now this is times 3. So 7856.79. Oopsie. So now this one is 7856.79. Okay, and then we're going to copy and paste and just do it over and over again. And we see that in month 142, third house is paid off, 142. So let's go ahead and do this. So that's 142 minus 115 or 114. So in 28 months, we paid off rental house number 3. Okay. So 28 months. And then what's 28 divided by 12? That's 2.3 years. Okay. Now, at this point, we only have 3 rental properties. Okay. Now, let's say, hey, I'm sick of dealing with tenants, even though I have very few. Let's just focus on paying off my own personal home. Okay. So, what we do is we figure out at what month we're at currently. So, we're at month 142. And then we put in our loan calculator right here 142 to figure out the current balance. And because the interest rate of our personal loan is so much lower than our line of credit, we don't want to move the loan into the line of credit, right? That's a big mistake. It's kind of a myth of velocity banking that we should always move a loan into the line of credit. However, we can use a line of credit as a tool to help us chip away the principal, which we call chunking. So we just put chunk a small amount into the line of credit and then dump our entire income there. Relatively easy way to get rid of the loan mortgage principal. But so let's go ahead and pay off this loan right here. So we have this velocity banking calculator. And actually, let me go ahead and just fill it in, right? Just fill it in. Okay. So what is our current balance of the loan? Original balance, it's 200,000, 200,000, 3%, 30 years. And what's the payment amount? 843.21. And then what's the current balance? So the current balance is 141,579.26. 141,579.26. Okay. And then what is our income? Our income is we have our active income, could be a W-2 job, you could be fixing flipping properties. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's all of our income, including the 3 tenants, right? So it's 10,700, 10700. What's our expenses? It's everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off here. So this is going to be just $2,000 here. That's our expenses, food, gas, insurance, $2,000. Okay. And so now we just type that in. Chunk amount, we'll just do 11 grand. And what's the line of credit? Interest rate 8%. And wablam, 1.5 years, this thing is paid off. So let's go ahead here and so I'll say personal property. What's 1.5 years? 0.5 times 12, 18 months. Okay, so this one is 1.5 years. And yeah, so how many years was that? So let me just do this. 3.83 plus 2.75 plus 2.3 plus 1.5. Yeah, about 10.38, 10.4 years total. And so what is our gain? How much have we gained? Okay. So let me write this. So there's really only two plays with rental real estate: equity and cash flow. Okay. Now, assuming that every property originally when we bought it had the market value was about 300,000, and then maybe within a 10-year period it goes to 350 or 400. Let's be a little bit conservative, but the real estate should appreciate um, in about 10 years, okay? It should, right? It's very rare that the property value wouldn't go up unless it was in one of those really low cost markets that cash flow a lot, the property doesn't appreciate, okay? So, let's do this. We'll assume that now maybe after 10, 20-year period where we paid off all our debt, or especially after the 10-year period, we'll say we're at year 11, okay? Year 11. We definitely have all the equity. Okay. So let's do this 350 times 4. We'll include the personal house. We have 1.4 million in equity. Okay. Now the cash flow is going to be spread out for many years. You don't get it all at once. Okay. Now let's assume that the rent hasn't gone up. People love to say, "Well, the rent will go up, but so will taxes and insurance," right? So let's just assume that the rent hasn't gone up, and our cash flow, since our debt is completely gone, is just 70% times the rent. Okay, so we'll just do this: zero point 0.7 times 2,000, because that's the monthly rent, and then times 12 the yearly rent. Okay. And because if you take a look here, it's going to take us, actually, let's take the average of these, right? What's the average? Let me do the average of, well, it'll be 3.83 plus 2.75. Oopsie, 2.75 plus 2.3 plus, yeah, 2.3. And then we'll divide by 3 to see the average payoff time for the rental properties. It's about 3 years, okay? So we'll say that we're gonna experience about 27 years of cash flow and 3 years of sacrifice for each property, okay? Assuming we're doing a 30-year time frame. Yeah, yeah, so it's kinda like cowboy math. If you don't understand, don't worry about it, but we're just saying that this is the yearly cash flow, and we're gonna experience it for 27 years, okay? 27 years. Now, that's 453 grand of cash flow per property throughout its lifetime. So now what we do is multiply it by 3 to get all the cash flow. And then we see here that we have 1.36 million of cash flow. 1.36 um, million in all properties. So the 1.4 million includes the fourth property, which is the personal one, but the personal property will never give you cash flow unless you rent it out, right? And then let me go ahead and do this. This is now 0. And so, yeah, so now, okay, now, um, let's just sum it up to see what our gain is. So 1.4 plus 1.36, that's 2.76 million that you've essentially generated relatively easy with 3 houses, or maybe 4 houses, 4 houses, including a paid off house. And it wasn't really that hard. Okay. So, as you can see, you don't really need that many houses to win in the real estate game, right? This is what I call how a velocity making millionaire buys real estate. Take a look here. Actually, let me go back here. Where'd my screenshot go? Did it get deleted? I think it did get deleted. Oh my goodness, this all screwed up on me. Okay, it doesn't matter anyways. But go back here. Go back here. No. Okay. So basically, oh yeah, yeah. Okay, now I remember what I was gonna say. This is why I'm able to get $500,000 of equity with just 2 properties, right? And so once I pay off the second property, I just get the third property. Once I get the third property, maybe I get a fourth, and then I should have millions in both equity and cash flow. Now, the equity, you get it immediately as soon as you pay it off, but the cash flow is going to be spread out over time, right? It's going to be spread out over time. Hopefully, I did this right. Hopefully. Okay. Actually, let me just verify one more time again. So 2000 times zero point 0.7 times 12, right? That's 16,800 times 27 years times 3. Yeah, 1.36 million. Okay. So it's just one possible way to do it and not have to stress out over having, 20 rental properties full of debt. Pay off your debt, get all the equity, get all the cash flow. And hey, if you want to maybe move to multifamily after single family, that's what a 1031 exchange is for. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So, can you just imagine being a millionaire with like four houses and not really putting in that much effort? The biggest problem that I have with real estate is with the two properties I have is sometimes with the rental property, I can't even remember that I own it. Right, tenant just pays me rent, and I never go back and like I visit once in a while. It's like, whoa, oh, wow. So that's how it feels like to be a landlord and just get paid for doing nothing, right? All right. Well, that's it for today. So it's Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Have a great day, and we will speak next time.